The vast hulk of the abandoned Aether collector rusts in the crisp air, its looming broken silhouette stark against the swirling mass of the well.
They're not just scientifically possible, Gia. What do I have to say to prove to you?
Shh. What was that? Lights in the mist, forms in the dark, and sounds in the silence. Science be damned. I can feel the dead. They're here.
Oh, please. There's nothing out there, Gia. The place is coming apart. Those sounds were just...
She sees it first, and I follow her line of sight where the fog pools heaviest in the gloom. There, from within the creaking metal and whispering winds, a specter appears.
You should not be here.
Like water down a cliff face, my hand flows quickly to my sidearm. The pistol slides out just as easily. A whispered click stops the shadow where it stands. That's close enough.
Oh, now look at that. What do you think, Newsom? Real pretty. Italian made. 7 shots. Real pretty. No, I'm not gonna ask to hold it. That's not polite.
Who else is there? Nellie, get ready to go.
Who else? No, don't you worry. It's just Newsom, Rollins, Turner. Samuels is around here somewhere. We're all too busy keeping this thing afloat. All too busy. Oh, I need to check the lower decks. Make sure the pressure chambers are intact. Yes, of course I need to check them again. Shh. Just let me do my job, Newsom.
The ghost walks off, the fog swirling around him. Too long of a blink and I'm sure he'll disappear into the atmosphere.
Oh, wait, hello, Mr. Ghost. We won't be long. Was hoping to just take a look at the well.
Ghost? Oh no! Name's Roscoe, Chief Ballasman here on the Chamberlain. Then please, take all the time you need. Newsom and the others appreciate having prettier faces than mine around.
I can't believe you thought he was actually a ghost. He's just an old Darkman in a high-altitude suit.
I'm still not convinced.
Now come on, let's get things set up.
Strange how Nellie seems so afraid of the thing. It's really no different than the sun or the moon. It just exists. My childhood superstition looms above like a meteorite, frozen in space, but always on the brink of crashing to the earth. Maybe there is something to what the scientist is saying. The motionless Aether rig stands as a lonely grave marker to a dead era, a eulogy to our first stumbling steps into the sky. Maybe it's memories of old stories, or the rusted corpse we're standing on, but the door strikes me with a dread reserved for a coffin lid. Who knows what ghosts lie sealed behind it? Aw, hell. I never back down from checking the closet for monsters. I get out my lockpicks. Every click and twist, I hear nothing but the creak of metal. By the time I yank the door open, it's almost anticlimactic. The only shadows to find are a bundle of crates. The ghostly remnant of an old derrickman weaves in place, his helmet emitting a warm, buzzing drone, somewhere between radio static and the crackling of the last coals of a bonfire.
You don't have to stare. I'm telling you, he's not a ghost. The dead can't talk, Gia. They don't have functioning vocal cords.
Stranger things have happened.
He's just a person. Probably been suffering the deleterious effects of living so close to the well. Sir, do you have headache and delusions?
I want to hear what the little lady has to say. I can't hear with you droning on about birds. What was that?
Who is that you're talking to?
You?
No, I mean when...
Newsom, the lady is talking. You were saying...
Never mind. How are you still kicking? Out here all by yourself?
By myself? I'm not alone. We all take care of each other up here. All of us.
The Baron doesn't give you any trouble?
No. Mr. Broderick is quite kindly. Keeps us well fed. I only wish that man would shave. Yuck! Disgusting rodent on his face.
Broderick. Rings a bell. One of the old barons of New York. Not a name I'd heard since Zio told stories about the Days of Blood, when Eli first started taking territory and executing his rivals. And the well?
The well? The well? Oh! I've heard of that thing. A strong wind off New York shows up in the winter. Don't worry, young lady. Storms come and go, come and go.
Come and go burrows into my ear, nesting in the part of my brain concerned with old memories. A radio advertisement as a kid talking about how the well was nothing to worry about. You the only one keeping this hulk in the sky?
Not me. No. The Aether.
It's been, what, 30 years since this thing went out trawling? Without a refuel, the Aether levels can't still be enough.
Yes, they can. You youngsters, you don't appreciate Aether. You didn't see it. When we first found it, it changed everything. The world became a circus. A magical circus.
It's amusing, at least for the first few minutes, hearing the old man talk about how the world changed, how circuses changed, but I don't have all day.
And as for zebras... Oh, you're right. You didn't ask about zebras. You wanted to know about vacuums.
Madonna help me.
You see, This old rig, she's just one big vacuum. Collects Aether even when she's sitting still. As long as I keep those engines going, she'll stay up here forever.
My friend here is studying the well. We were hoping you might have some old records from what it looked like back when your rig was airborne.
Yes! Well, I was quite the dancer in my day. A real aficionado of the old ragtime. Of course, it was new back when I was on the prowl.
Pardon?
Oh, don't worry. I don't have any dance left in me. But I still have a few of the old records left.
The man trudges to a small alcove made of detritus and rust, pulling out a box of records, most falling apart due to the moisture.
Here, this one should still work. I hope you enjoy. You look like quite the dancer. Quite the dancer.
Thanks. This has been very, illuminating.
Anytime, youngster. You've been a wonderful student. You make me feel like a proud papa.
Come on, help me set this equipment up.
There isn't much for me to do, but I think the kid enjoys bossing me around. Her self-satisfied smugness reminds me of how I felt when I first called my father William as a child.
There. And can you move this? Now, these over there. Yeah, that's glass. Just be more careful, please. One more thing. By the panel. No, the other panel.
Eventually, Nellie stops giving orders, and I'm fossilized along the sidelines, turning into little more than a paperweight in a coat. This is a whole lot of, scientific equipment. What are you trying to build?
Well, in the absence of a Pfeiffer trap to collect the Aether in the air around us, I'll need to improvise.
She accents her determination with a sudden drop of a crate full of junk I recognize from the various ditches and drains in the hole. The Radish King is splattered in faded paint along the side.
You really should pay more attention to the garbage lying around the hole. I found parts of a cyclotron just laying around. Oh, and a 1925 Hethelbaum cathode. I couldn't find any thorium, though. The experiment can work without it, hopefully. But since we're on an old Aether rig, there has to be some around here. Think you can find some?
We called it winter greens down in the burrows. Everyone scavenged thorium, but it was easiest when the cold came since the ice wouldn't stick. All you'd see is olive patches dotting the snow. We'll be lucky to find any after all this time. The thorium market is sizable, and this place would have had most of its supply stripped years ago. What's left is likely heavily oxidized anyway.
You're probably right. But really, any amount of it would help. I guess you'll have to find something that's been looked over.
I think back to cold December mornings scrounging old fallen islands, and a cache of bright emerald thorium-glazed ceramics that stood out in the snow. Wonder if the rig has any green cups. by windows frosted with time, the elements, and entropy, the space between rancid wooden benches is pocked with abandoned plates and cups. No one has been here in ages. The grime along the floor and windows is thick enough to deep fry a whole pig. The kid needed a medal of some kind. Maybe this will do? Based on their feel and color, the ceramic cups are no doubt glazed with thorium. Hopefully, it's enough for Nellie's experiment. One of the panels into the inner machinery of the rig repeatedly shifts in the wind, barely held down by a screw that likely wished its existence would end. A quick pull and the whole thing rends free, revealing a dark, seemingly endless cavity into the guts of the rig. Most of those guts, unfortunately, have been eviscerated beyond recognition. Damn it. This part's already been scavenged. Not what I needed, but I'll take it.
Yes, you are the real one.
Thanks. This has been very, illuminating.
Anytime, youngster. You've been a wonderful student. You make me feel like a proud papa.
Find anything?
Yeah, here. What do you think? Maybe you should be calling me Doc from now on.
Oh, you found some! That's perfect!
With fast hands, the kid gets to work, bending, breaking, and binding her crate of junk with the small amount of thorium I was able to find. Is that...
It's not a real Pfeiffer trap, but it's close. It will help measure the amount of naturally occurring Aether in the air. I should be able to compare the data with Lorenzo's Aether constant to see what local saturation looks like.
She bites her tongue as she focuses on what seems to be the last part of her little machine.
Then maybe we can get some insight on where the well is drawing all this extra mass from. And... done.
The box begins to emit a soft glow and whir like a carnival novelty attraction.
Now to wait.
More clicks, more whirs, more clicks, the occasional chirp. Not even the swirling chaos of the well seems interesting enough to alleviate the weight. I take it this basket of junk makes you miss home and all of its shiny, top-of-the-line gear.
No, hadn't thought about it actually. But I didn't need any fancy stuff for this. This is just, well...
She holds out her hands as if presenting her little machine like a talented, ball-juggling seal on a circus stage.
This is just... simple.
Simple? So, any one of you could have roped some trash together and found out the world was ending down here?
No, that's not. You know that's not what I mean.
I didn't intend to put poison in that joke, but the girl seems to swell up all the same.
I don't know why no one's caught it. They should have. I should have. But I'm here now. You don't have to bring up that I'm from the Heights every time.
Okay. Was just teasing you, kid. I know you care. Glad he's keeping his distance. Makes me uneasy, him roaming about. I lob my eyes and chin towards the muttering man in a high-altitude suit. I'm not discreet, but I don't think he'd notice if I threw a rotten tomato at him.
Poor man. He has to have the wasting under all those layers. No wonder he's seeing things. He has to be in so much pain.
After all this time, he'd be dead. That head would be bright blue, for starters.
Unless maybe... We studied rare cases in Olympus Park. Patients who showed no outward signs of the wasting, but had gone mad.
How'd you know they had the wasting then?
After they die, we'd watch an autopsy. The brain was... different. Changed. I had to leave before Dr. Monitz finished. I didn't like seeing a human person like that. All taken apart.
Got enough to go on?
Let's see... Oh, yes! This is perfect! Exactly what I needed to help continue my experiments.
I do know my thorium. Nellie turns away from her machine, fresh plastered smile from the victory still smeared on her face. She gives a small curtsy.
Of course. I never doubted you, Lady Sif.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. Just a joke we'd make back home. Are we going back now?
Back already, huh?
Here. Got it from a ghost on the abandoned Aether rig.
This ghost better not be haunting this thing. See you soon.
The barge we're using is a rusted corpse left on the side of the road, half buried in trash and waiting for someone to put it out of its misery. Two figures wave us into the shadows.
Chris, you brought her along?
Watch your tone, Alex. She does good work. You even said so.
One good deed means little. I hope you're right about her.
You know I can hear you, right?
Ugh, don't mind him. Hi, honey. It's good to see you again.
We ready to go?
Here. Grab this morning. Plates, tags, all good. Had the permission papers drafted in the archive. Should pass at a glance.
You two are a long way from home. How'd you get roped into this?
We need to do something. This is how we make things better.
His wife's earnest response freezes the snide remark lurking on his tongue.
They do the same for us. Even if not, they don't deserve to be there. Simple as that.
How'd you nick a whole barge out of White Street?
We took it off a driver who parks near the free home. He likes a drink before his shift.
He's still asleep. We finish this right, he'll never know the thing was gone.
Press, time to go.
Get back safe. We'll bring everyone home.
Thank you, and you too. Be safe, please. We don't need anything happening to the both of you.
They unveil a hatch behind a pile of dirt and steel. Within seconds, they're gone.
Gia.
Most of the time, Cress has a hardened shell, prickly to some, impenetrable to most, built to protect against the world. She turns to me, defenses up, but a vulnerable seriousness radiating from her.
I'm not leaving those people stuck in that hellhole. You're running interference. I need you to get me there and get us all out again. If anyone sees us, it could blow the whole thing.
Don't worry, Cress. I'm on the clock. I'd hoped for smooth sailing, but the lone guardsman up ahead poses a problem. He's bored, waving his gun around like a toy, looking for anything to make the night more exciting. He spots me. Damn it. I can see the barge moving up the ledge of the island, nearly within sight of the guard post. I have to keep the heat off us. I'm no damsel, but I do my best impression. I mess my hair, widen my eyes, and drive up to the guard. Sir, help. They're after me. Bandits, thugs, evil men. They're right behind me. I only just escaped. The guard shoots me a grin more bloodthirsty than reassuring. He thanks me before sprinting off to rain vengeance on my imaginary attackers.
Nice work. We're through.
A sudden inferno catches my eye. The glint of polished boots and oiled rifles reflect the devilish light as White Street thugs ransack a storefront on fire, its wares spilling into the street.
Burn the contraband! Find the traitor!
A shopkeep steals away from a back window, carrying a bulging sack over his shoulder. His leg catches the sill, and he falls to his face. Guards are rounding the corner, seconds away from spotting him. Cress, I might have to make a detour.
What's wrong?
I have to help someone. Won't take more than a minute.
Don't you blow this, Gia.
A nearby drawbridge, kept up by a jumble of cabling and rusted struts, hangs precariously near the soldiers' cars. My pistol's already in my palm when I spot the single support cable keeping the whole thing from crashing down. I fire. Like a complex symphony, the cable snaps and unleashes a serenade of screeching metal, whizzing wire, clanking counterweights, whirling gears, groaning supports, and a crescendo of a crashing bridge. The guards run to their crushed rides, and the man makes his getaway into the night.
Damn it, Gia. I can hear that from here. We don't need any extra heat.
I load my car onto the barge and take over at the helm. Garbage day has no exceptions in White Street. We arrive right on schedule and the guards wave us through without a second glance. An enormous inverted headstone. The tomb is a grave marker for hope. The only way out is down. Nothing and no one gets out, unless they're dropped to the earth thousands of feet below. The clock ticks. Cress and I wait in a darkened bank of smoke and cloud. 10 minutes late.
They'll show up. Just watch for their signal.
I massage pins and needles out of my thighs while we sit, unmoving. It's only a matter of time before someone comes around to ask questions.
Cress, get down!
Cress ducks under the dash while a massive shadow swoops alongside us. A groaning barge burdened with thousands of pounds of waste, driven by a man oblivious to our cold sweat.
Hey there, slow day, huh?
Yeah, just waking myself up.
Hey, oh, I get it. Nobody's busting you for taking a 5. I was just taking a break myself. Mind if I join you?
Something shines in the darkness behind him. The signal? My heart's in my ears as I figure out how to move the barge captain along.
Get rid of him.
Word of advice. I spotted officers circling the area. They won't take kindly anyone slacking on duty.
Intelligence officers? Here! You're pulling my leg. It's been quieter than a cemetery.
Just up on the east ledge. Probably planning a surprise inspection. I'd beat it.
Good tip. Take care, friend. They'll ticket you for anything. Dirty magazines, parking, painting your neighbor's dog green.
The barge pulls away and Cress unhides herself while I hunt for the glint of signal light. Many attempts have been made, and each time it's made clear. It doesn't matter how much firepower someone brings, the prison remains unassailable. An observation booth surrounded by darkened glass and the big blue nothing. I hope whoever's on duty is taking a nap. The searchlights pan back and forth, waiting with a hair trigger to light the sky on fire with enough ordnance to sink an island. There's the chute. A pencil-sized light in the mouth of darkness. Adrenaline and hope are the only things keeping the Aetherians from losing what precious grip they've got on that chute.
That's them! Go!
Wait, searchlights first. The barge is a heavy dance partner, but with me leading, she moves with the grace of a ballerina. We leap from shadow to shadow, dodging out of sight until we land near the chute. We pull up on the tomb and look up into the darkness like gravediggers plundering the ancient world. Except the weathered limbs, calloused fingers, and gaunt faces in this sarcophagus are very much alive, waiting for us with anxious vitality. Get in!
On it! Lucy, help Owen down!
I don't know how long they were clinging to the chute, but I hear relieved groans and shouts as several bodies thump onto the bed of the barge.
Thank you, miss. Any later and we would have been grounded.
Don't thank me yet. We still need to get clear. Cress, where are we heading?
Far bank. Good job keeping them off us, Randazzo.
The tomb's guards buzz around looking for us like angry wasps defending their hive, but we're safe from their stingers. For now. We ditch the barge at the harbor, hustle the Aetherians into our cars, and make tracks.
Here!
Cress points to a wall of nothing but discarded machinery. But then, I see it. A small Aetherian symbol. The hidden door opens before I finish hiding the cars. Paupers must be watching.
Gia, no matter what, stick close. I mean it.
Where are you taking us?
Home.
Cress is my only point of reference as we navigate the Undercity, a maze that winds and bends in the dark blue light flittering through gaps in the brick and machinery. We reach an unmarked door.
Watch your eyes.
A hidden cityscape, bathed in aether light and rhythmic machine sounds, spreads out before me. I exhale an appreciative whistle while I blink the dots from my eyes.
Not what you were expecting?
This is amazing.
We've had a few decades to figure it out.
Long embraces, teary faces, and inside jokes coax tired laughter out of the Aetherians as they reunite with their friends and families. I can't remember the last time I talked to my folks like that. Not since Zio died. The tomb had aged them, but the promise of safety rolled back the years, returning them and their loved ones to better times. You all right?
I'm better off than them. They've escaped the tomb, but they're still prisoners. We'll have to beg another Baron to take their contracts, and then this whole thing starts over.
You got them out, Cress. Everyone got to walk away. Sometimes that's the best outcome.
It shouldn't be.
Cress?
Hey, is Owen settling in okay?
Yes, thanks to you. He'll be fine. We all will. But, I'm actually here to tell you Iron Hand's looking for you.
The Aethoniers around us stare sympathetically. Some even shrink away with looks of guilt.
Gia, I have to deal with this. If I'm lucky, it won't take long. Stay here.
The cold, barren walls, rich smell of oil, and familiar clank of tools quickly announce this building's purpose. A garage like this is a smuggler's best friend. Nondescript, affordable, and discreet. Aether start young. They learn to take your car apart long before they develop their whitewashed eyes. I hear Alexander and Maria's voices drift over from the shop. Despite their hushed tones, it's not hard to guess the source of their concern.
Not good. They need food, bandages, water, but we're stretched so thin as it is.
It can't be helped. They're family. We'll find ways to survive. It's what we do.
I never wanted to bring our child into a world like this. I didn't want them to just survive. I wanted more. Better than what we have.
Lexi, we'll get through this. We're going to make a better world together. For all three of us. We still have options. Don't give up hope yet.
Alexander rests his head on his wife's shoulder. They're lost in a few moments of peace. Just the three of them. Whether it's the quiet or the exhaustion, there's no anger when my presence intrudes.
Topsider, you pulled through.
Thank you, truly. When we lost them, we almost... You don't know how many spirits you've lifted. Thank you.
Cress was the one running the show. I just did what she asked.
She's been a good friend to the community ever since Eli's last purge. I hope we can return the favor one day.
Maria lets out a yawn deep enough to betray several sleepless nights. You folks look like you could use some rest.
Rest? Who has time for rest? The terriers say double shifts will end when the war ends. It's been this way for years.
It didn't used to be this bad, even for White Street. But after the bombing at Santa Anita, the priorities changed.
Eli took off the sheepskin, that's what changed. He was looking for an excuse to go back to war and dragged us with him.
White Street's always been a powder keg. Can't imagine it any different down here.
You think terriers, contracts, and long hours are new to us? We're taught the terms from birth, but it used to be livable here. Clean water, islands that didn't flip barons every few months. We took care of ourselves.
Even topsiders were friendlier. There was this one older lady, owned a pool. Sometimes she'd let Lexi and I go at night.
Maria?
And swim. We could keep the lights off and no one knew we were there. She died not too long ago.
The new owner tried to report us first time we showed up. It doesn't matter, the space was requisitioned for military purposes sometime later. Everything for the war effort.
I overheard you talking. Something about making a better world? That made ripples in whatever bubble of peace they had. A subtle glance, a flash of worry, and silent debate passes between the two of them before the tension drains.
You see how we live? Our children shouldn't know how to use a wrench before they know how to walk. I want to teach our child more than taking apart generators. How to make music, how to swim, how to windskip.
Do you remember when you taught Kelly's boy how to skip stones? You two stayed up all night.
That boy, clumsy but determined. Couldn't get more than 2 bounces no matter what I taught him.
I reach into my pocket and pick out a few flat stones. I make sure there's eye-catching patterns and colors, the kind I would have snapped up as a kid. Here, blue ones from the burrows. Could probably spin a story off that.
Skipping stones. You keep these on hand?
I like to have them handy, just in case. Alexander smiles softly, holding my gaze as he pockets the stones like he's handling a wrapped parcel.
Thank you.
The negotiations were making progress. Ah, you must be Giovanna. Gia, I'm told you prefer. Sam Lowe, president of the Undercity League.
The so-called rats might get looked down on, but even the barons had to pretend to play nice with the Undercity League. Samuel Ironhand Lowe represented every Aetheneer in New York.
I have to thank you. You kept our Cressa alive today.
He sticks out his hand to shake. A genuine smile follows. The man's warm, inviting. A memory of Pop showing us our new sweaters on Christmas morning floats up from the recess of my mind. Surprised you know me. What have you heard? My name's taken some hits. Depending on your racket, it's usually passed around either with caution or horror. He turns towards me, thumbing his suspenders, and gives me his whole attention.
Good things. Our friends Alexander and Maria, and Cress here too, describe you as someone to rely on.
That's it? His eyes drape over me like a warm blanket, wrapping me in an understanding look. He knows. He knows all of it.
This city is filled with stories, Gia. I've heard them all. What I've found is that the only ones worth paying attention to are those happening right now. And your story right now is quite exciting.
What's the Undercity League doing in White Street?
Negotiation. White Street's been so busy with their war that they've neglected their duties. Eli is still obligated to provide every basic necessity to his Aether engineers.
Your negotiations have gone nowhere, Ironhand. The shortages, the imprisonments, the terriers having free reign over contracts. You're begging for scraps.
Don't downplay our progress now. More food, medicine, and parts. Even some years shaved off contracts. Negotiations might not be as flashy as a prison break, but they make a difference.
You didn't see them in the tomb. They couldn't wait.
And now how many more will be rounded up, locked away? How many terriers will be down here intruding in your lives, looking for those you freed, adding more years to contracts? Eli is not made of stone. Even he's capable of compassion. He could have been talked into seeing his judgment was too hasty. Now he'll harden himself.
You give him too much credit.
He will regard every one of us as a potential accomplice.
He's never gonna change his mind, no matter how much ass you kiss. He was stringing you along. You're still just a rat. We're all just rats.
I am certain your friend here, even in her line of work, is familiar with making compromises with the barons in order to succeed.
A Baron will try to pull one on you every chance they get. It's in their nature. We don't do ourselves any favors playing by rules they just laugh at.
I have this argument with someone regularly. I'll tell you what I tell him. You can't make a car fly with a cracked engine.
I've got a roll of tape that says otherwise. But I know, life's not a car, even if it'd be easier if it worked like one.
But what's done is done. Cress, I may not agree with your methods, but thank you. Thank you for helping them escape. I will take care of the rest.
What are you going to do? Eli's probably heard about the prison break by now. He's probably got patrols up and down the barony looking for them.
What I do best, negotiate. Our newly liberated friends will need new homes, quickly. I know barons who will buy the contracts. People who are not unreasonable. But Cress, next time remember, there is always a risk when you charge at the Lion's Head.
With that, the venerable Iron Hand leaves us, sharing friendly smiles and kind words with those he passes. Cress, on the other hand, goes slack.
Look at them. They believe every word of it. That this time the negotiations will work. They shouldn't have that hope.
You all right, Cress? That didn't seem like the first time you've gotten a talking to.
Iron Hand's not a bad guy. Honestly, he overworks himself, trying to keep the rest of us afloat. I understand it, but he makes it hard to argue back.
The more I look at Cress, the more I see the sway on her feet, the way she keeps massaging around her prosthetic limb. Either the job or the chat with Iron Hand was catching up to her. Ready to head back?
Not yet. I want to stop off at the Department of Contracts.
A pitter-patter of coins clink across the metallic streets. I watch as a group of Aetherians take turns pitching coins at a tiny basket on the wall. Room for another? Despite a flicker of wariness, my arrival with Cress must have bought me enough goodwill. I get calls for good luck as I line up my shot. Like a bolt from Zeus, my coin hits the basket dead on. I get a clap on the shoulder and a hat's worth of winnings. Cress walks me through a door that smells of old paper and cooling coffee, and I double take. Above packed shelves and harried archivists, I see a sky of stained glass and stars made up of winking Aether light. From the way Cress basks under its light, I doubt we're here to thumb through records. Madonna, what's that for?
Stargazing. Come on, take a load off. The light's hitting the glass just right today.
I spy a collection of volumes, most of them hand-bound in leather or fabric. Huh. Looks like they were all written by Aetherians. Each spine features a tiny brand corresponding to the free home where they were written. Conover Place, a nice place to lurk. When my folks got our contracts moved here from Pendleton Rocks, we would be treated nice, humane-like even. More money to go around, they'd tell my sister and me. The terriers aren't as strict, as if that meant anything. We won't be allowed topside, though. Not that they could tell without our eyes in. 1932. This one hasn't aged well. Conover Place burned a year after this was published. Most of the Aetheniers dead, sealed in an iron coffin. The bones of Metropolis. My father worked the steam vents to his dying day. "Son," he gasped, while the sawbones struggled to replace the fluids his burns had leached from his parboiled body. "This ain't no life for man or woman." "But what else is there, Pop?" I cried, pounding on the wall with work-rough hands. "What else is there?" Lots of talk about weight-to-energy ratios and the stabilization of Aether when they describe how neighborhoods are maintained. The Ghosts in the Pipes, a study of location-based psychoses in the Undercity. Unable to find a common thread other than rough location, Dr. Fisher launched an in-depth investigation into why the men and women within the Racine Undercity were exhibiting a higher-than-normal rate of aberrant behaviors than other Aethenier free homes within the lowers. After 18 weeks, Fisher concluded that the chronic insomnia and resultant anxieties were directly tied to the sound of waste fumes vacated through improperly repaired pipes running through the maintenance tunnels, leaving the inhabitants surrounded by a constant sound resembling unending, unintelligible wailing called the ghosts in the pipes by the locals. Dr. Fisher himself was not immune to the consequences of this phenomenon and was remanded to a psychiatric institution after the study's conclusion. This stuff goes on forever. My eyes skim a series of titles to do with Aetheniers and Aether theory. Behind me, I hear Nellie gasp in anticipation, delight, recognition. Strasbourg, King Stratosphere. Despite his personal peccadillos and suspected anti-American leanings, the scientific advances of Arnold Strasbourg, chiefly known for his advancement of Aether propulsion and suspension at high altitudes, ironically widened the gap of wealth inequality even further in favor of the Uppers baronies despite their brilliance. I'm sure Strasbourg himself would have something to say to this author, if he hadn't disappeared into thin air. The origins of Aether. Though the early successful advances brought about by the discovery and development of Aether for purposes of construction were reasonably well documented, the explosive failures of its early experimentation, most notably the fatal Dews Reservoirs incident in which 38 technicians lost their lives, are less so. Due to the confluence of shared credit as well as blame, it is difficult to pin down who is most responsible for these first developments, as no less than 6 scientific collectives each claimed credit for those breakthroughs, while trying to avoid blame for any shortcoming. Same as it ever was. If you can't prove something is yours, muddy the waters enough for a partial payday. All the colors of the rainbow. Theories regarding a so-called Aether spectrum. While the vast majority of Aether scientists agree that theoretical colored Aethers are nothing more than a load of bunk dreamed up by weapons developers, a small number of researchers theorize that such weapons could be developed as soon as 30 years from now. Or, as it turns out, a whole lot sooner. No understanding of brevity. This shelf has a few books on the history of White Street. I noticed right away that the majority of them look brand new. as if they've never been read or even handled. I guess these aren't too popular. I pick up the dense collection of Tillinghast's memoirs and notice something curious built just behind the series of volumes. I gather an armful of the self-serving waste of pulp on the luminaries of White Street and deposit them where they belong, on the floor, out of sight, hopefully for all time. Toil and Trouble, an examination of the water waste war. There was no doubt after White Street's victory of attrition over the barons of Smucker and Gainsford that the struggle was lost. Tillinghast had outmaneuvered the politicking of the lesser barons with intimidation and a projection of force. With the conflict resulting in a decisive stake in the city's water futures, the peace-loving General Tillinghast could, at long last, lay down his sword and enjoy the peace his vigilance had bought. Peace-loving? Right. And I'm Kaiser Wilhelm. Clean Street Caesar, the early career of Eli Tillinghast. Though criticized by his peers for his controversial choices, Tillinghast doubled down on his shock and dread campaign, utilizing his sanitation brigade as a rifle butt, smashing pretenders to the throne of his burgeoning domain. Under his guidance, the Whitecaps moved from tidying the streets to handing out citations for unclean behavior, to random search and seizures, to enforcing curfews, eventually resulting in a de facto state of martial law. I closed the heavy tome, 500 pages of raw propaganda that looked like it hadn't seen a lot of attention. I wasn't expecting a secret shelf just out of sight. Dry as anything. Time to look elsewhere. Looks like a pretty wide selection of modern history on this shelf. Funny, I never thought of Aethoniers as studious types. Yet the Crusades' origins were born from a perspective of well-meaning naivete, a concerted initiative from those barons in the uppers seeking to bring charity aid to those properties they had left behind during their upward climb. For this reason, some accounts depict the Crusades as necessary growing pains for the burgeoning social strata. Whitewashing, it's not just for picket fences. Stealing hearts and bases, the rise of the 35 New York bandits. A true David and Goliath story in our modern time. Nobody could have predicted the meteoric rise of the scrappy bandits during the 1935 season after a dismal showing in the previous year. The uppers-owned New York Gothams had the funding and the star players, but they lacked that crucial ingredient that pushed the bandits over the edge. Heart. I remember every play. That was one hell of a series. Trespasser of Nature. How New York beat the hurricane. And while Hurricane Bedford ravaged the eastern seaboard without mercy or compunction, flattening all in its path with countless casualties, as well as incurring millions in property damage, the people of the uppers simply turned up their nose and threw money at the problem, deciding once and for all that the problems of Earth were only for the earthbound. While seawater devastated and flooded the landlocked masses below, citizens of both the lowers and uppers were more or less insulated from the ravages of the weather phenomenon, passing harmlessly beneath the skybound colonies. Maybe the lowers weren't hit directly, but I saw lines for clean water circling the block, a gap-toothed child with a starvation-distended belly, men knifing each other in an alley for a bag of coal. The uppers had all they needed, and they did not want to share. That's about enough of that. Behind that propaganda piece about the general, there's a hidden shelf concealed in the wall. It's full of trashy glam mags about movie actors. In other words, pure bourgeois. Star Scoop, February 1936. All the sun's rays. A day in the life of Apollo Diamond. And wowza, is that Apollo with Mae West on his arm? For shame, Sonny. She's old enough to be your auntie.
A magazine? What is this twaddle doing in a library, for heaven's sake?
Star Scoop, May 1937. Apollo Diamond, on the town. Apollo, despite that sharp wardrobe and his prep school palaver, was surprisingly modest when asked about his thoughts on the Big Apple. Coming to the city was a big shock, but in no time, the people of New York accepted me as a genuine Knickerbocker. New York fans are the best fans in the world.
Yet another article on that actor?
Star Scoop, July 1936. His Life Among the Heavens, a deep dive on Apollo Diamond. Apollo's a good boy, a real mensch. Apollo's first agent, Morris Galecki, recounted fondly from his office in the lowers. Looking at him now, you'd never know he was once a little pisher from the neighborhood. Apollo Diamond, a local? Is that so? Didn't that other article say he was from out of town?
Hey, college girl, we've got more important things to do than think about some pretty boy movie star. Just drop it, okay?
Too much drama for me. San Francisco doesn't look that far away. Too bad the 2,000 miles in between is reserved for farmers or raiders. Cress claims a spot like it's a regular perch at a bar. I follow her lead. Never thought I'd be stargazing indoors.
Yeah, well, you get used to doing those things indoors. When terriers and barons keep hammering you back down. They think if they keep the sky away, you stop looking up. So, we brought the sky to us.
Eli destroyed every theater and speakeasy years ago. I remember when the last vaudeville theater went up in flames. Surprised he left all this.
You think a baron cares about what happens down here? This place's been around long before Eli set up his sanitation brigade.
How long's that?
1880s, sometime after Holdstone.
It was a memory burned into the minds of every New Yorker. An Aether photographed as they jumped from an island on fire. The island sank, thousands died. Fleeing rats were blamed. The rest is history. Reminds me of nights on the roof with Zio.
You could see stars in the burrows?
No, this was later. I just found this little apartment. Remember, what's his name? The Baron who only wore red? He called himself something.
Mr. Love ran the gentleman's quarter. That barony's out south now, I think.
Ugh, slimy bastard. So, I just moved in. Zio comes by, brings a 30-year-old bottle of whiskey from who knows where, talks about that time he got stranded in the Russian wilderness running guns in the Great War.
I like that story.
He always said the stars brought him home.
You really think he outran a bear at the end?
Zio could figure his way out of anything. If anyone's surviving a scrap with a bear, it's him. Cress stares upward into the faux night sky, her pale eyes darting from star to star.
I miss his stories about the constellations. He knew them all.
You're into the constellations?
There's a lot about me you don't know. My parents taught me. We used to have an undersky like this on my old island, built by a hobby astronomer, obsessed with capturing every constellation. Ursa, Canis, Calliope. Those were my bedtime stories. Argo was my favorite, a ship built perfectly to explore the whole world, a machine that never failed.
She rubs her arm where rat engineering bonds iron with flesh. Her eyes are fixed on the lights above. So, this prison break, this the type of work you do when you're not at the garage?
Sometimes, it can be all roadside repairs and repulsor changes.
And that sponsor?
I can't tell you that, Gia. Not yet.
You trust this person more than me?
Maybe I do, Randazzo. Don't push your luck.
Cress reaches over and grabs my arm.
Watch. Here it comes. It's always beautiful. Every time. There's real hope out there, Gia. There are people out there who are changing things, fighting back against the Barons. This was only a small part.
Fighting Barons will get you shot, Cress. There's enough tragedies in the lowers to fill stacks of tawdry magazines. They usually end with, "They died doing the right thing."
You said it yourself. You don't win against the Barons by playing by the rules. Hey, Gia. Thanks. I know you're really just looking to polish your rep, but you did good today.
Look, you've done me a lot of favors lately. With the past year, with my car, and with Zio. This was the least I could do.
Don't get mushy on me. Anyway, we should get back.
It's always laundry day in the Raymond district. Sheets quiver around me like phantoms as I look for a ghost from my past. Needles Portnoy, a smuggler I have every kind of history with. Let's get this over with. Cress, know where I can find him?
He's set up in the apartments. Should be around if he's not running a job or out on delivery.
Needles always had a head for business. Used to tell me it kept his family happy. Made him look respectable when a smart mouth came up short.
So, this smuggler Needles, is he like you? Is he the Stormlord to your Cloud Captain, or is it the other way around? And is he called Needles because he...
You're overthinking it, kid. He's a tailor. He'd sooner stick you with words than get blood on his tools.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad then.
Bad enough. Just don't let yourself get suckered by a laugh and a pair of pretty blue eyes. A soft breeze runs through the lines like a toddler bouncing on a freshly made bed. The sheets quiver and flip, loosening a fancy textile piece tucked into a pillowcase. I follow the line to a rusty old crank and give it a spin. It's slow to move, but I coax it back and forth until the handle squeaks forward. The line circles the tower, delivering me the goods. Lithe footsteps cross my shadow, and I turn to startle a gangly delivery boy stuttering out apologies. He walks away, only nervous taps across the iron floor. A shopkeep with glassy, placid orbs dodges the question and mutters how he must be around here somewhere. Portnoy Tailoring. It was a warning to me and an invitation to anyone else. I brace for a slammed door when I knock, but the darkened windows spare me. White Street finds a use for every bolt or stitch, but even they can't save stuff that's been shredded by bullets and fire. With all the laundries, fabric mills, and tailors in one spot, the island could have been a fashion powerhouse under any other barony. White Street keeps its styles strictly utilitarian. Ammonia permeates the atrium, like a bad memory threatening to spill from an overfull basin. I step into a darkened alcove to catch a breath near a lethargic fan. Strange. I spare a wandering eye to look past the slow-moving metal blades and see a steaming coffee and half-eaten meal on the table next to a radio.
Boss, can you hear me? They're coming. Get out! Joe's dead, and I've been shot. The rest are... Boss? Boss? They've taken the second... They're right. If you can hear this, boss, it's been a good run. You were the brother-in-law I ever had. If you live, tell
I'm too busy listening with my ear against the door. I don't notice a growling coming from far above. A monstrous shadow paints the atrium, screeching as it dives downward, fire erupting from all sides. My reflexes kick in without thought. I dive behind a low concrete wall, thick enough to stop rifle rounds. A sleek black coupe screams away down the street, the short barrel of a Tommy gun disappearing back into its passenger window. An irregular line of fresh holes dot the side of an upper floor apartment, just above where I was looking. I wonder if they found their mark. The bullet holes pierced into the brick of the upper floor apartment look, from the street, like they spell out an expletive. Probably a warning. I climb the apartment stairs until I reach an open doorway. Leaning against the frame is a weasel of a man, shakily searching his pockets.
Can't be them, can it? They just...
He looks up as I approach. His face twists into a categorically false grin. I can almost see the slime dripping from his teeth.
Well, who's this? Must be my lucky day. Are you here for merchandise?
Watches that fell off the back of a truck, I take it?
You've got me all wrong, miss. I run a legitimate business here.
Uh-huh.
Well, if that's not what you're here for, then what are you here for?
What kind of legitimate business do you run, then?
I'm a procurer of fine goods. You might say I'm an importer and exporter.
Sure. 4th floor of an unmarked apartment building in Rainment. What exactly are you importing?
Hey, a businessman has to keep a low profile around here. The, local authorities don't appreciate certain vices.
He winks. The gesture doesn't cause whatever effect he hoped for. I haven't seen you around White Street.
I don't go shouting my name off rooftops. Only people who know me are the ones I decide to know.
He's small time, trying to pretend he's a player. That suits me fine, so no reason to let on that I've noticed. I look him over. The grin is a constant on his face, but his hands rifle through his pockets, like they're looking for a lighter to burn a smoke he doesn't have. The edge of his hairline glistens with sweat. I saw a car drive by a few minutes ago. A few slugs tried to fill my dance card, but I'm guessing you're on the list to that particular soiree.
Who knows? All kinds of lunatics out there on the streets. Hey, did you get a look at the driver?
The laugh never meets his eyes. I can't say I did. Business partner of yours?
No, nothing like that.
He pauses and scans me, toe to head. I half expect some greasy catcall, before his eyes fix on the hard-learned lesson etched between my neck and temple.
Pardon my saying, but you've got a look about you. I don't suppose you're looking for work.
What kind?
I've got a little giggle water taking up space. It's already bought and paid for, just needs delivering. There'd be a chunk of the proceeds in it for you, of course.
Where's the drop-off? Could be I'm headed that way.
There's a little place in the commercial district. Has a back room that always needs stocking.
Eli keeps an iron grasp on liquor in White Street. Something about rusting the machine, turning good men into liabilities. So, legitimate restaurants cook more than meals to hide their back-alley income.
I'd bet you know it. Confitolas.
Huh. Best veal parmigiani in town. Never pegged it for a speakeasy, but I haven't been in a while.
Sure is. Just ask for the cannoli. If he asks what kind, tell him porchetta. That'll get you in. If you're headed that way.
Porchetta cannoli? Ugh, that better just be a password. Otherwise, it's a crime against Sicily. So what's the rub? The holes in your wall don't draw a picture of safety.
Oh, that? You know how it is. All kinds of danger out there.
He's lying through his teeth. I gotta warn you, friend. I don't have patience for liars or cheats. A sly look passes over his face like a mask.
Then you're in the wrong building. Look, all I know's Confitola paid up weeks back, and I don't want to lose a good customer. Think you can handle it?
Running booze for some back alley yegg. Feels almost like the old days when I was just starting out. But a job's a job, and I'm in no place to turn down money on the table. What's my cut?
Confitola always tips well. He knows it's part of the arrangement.
Look, I don't know you from Adam. I'm going to need payment up front as a sign of good faith.
All right, I can't afford to lose a good customer. Cash up front, and you'll get your tip besides.
It's a deal then. I'll get the booze to Confortolas.
I knew you were the right sort. Are you ready now?
It might be worth preparing first. You can never tell what you might run into on the road. Ready as I'll ever be.
Here's your front. Get there quick, the booze is already late.
It'll get there. Traffic's backed up for several blocks. Before I realize what's going on, I'm stuck headlight to tailpipe in a slow stampede of cars, all heading inexorably toward a white-capped cordon. There's no way out but through.
Sorry for the inconvenience, miss. We're searching every car coming through today. If you wouldn't mind stepping out.
I'd rather not risk the search, but I'm not sure I have a choice. I could try talking my way past him. Or, that cordon isn't covering the whole street. If I gun it and steer into the gap, I might be able to get through before the Whitecaps can react. I pull hard on the wheel's edge and floor the accelerator.
What?
Too hard. I misjudge the distance and the side of my car crunches against the barrier. To make matters worse, the Whitecaps are on the chase quicker than I'd hoped, and they're coming up fast.
Pull over!
Damn it. There are another dozen sets of headlights behind me. Too many. Can't fight my way out of this one. Better look for an opening to run.
We got a runner, lads! Call for backup! You're cruising for a bruising!
much more.
Might have picked up another bullet hole or two in the chassis, but I made it out fine. I'm almost to Confortalas when I notice the cars behind me. Zio once told me, if someone behind you takes the same 2 turns, it's a coincidence. If they take 3, it's an attempted murder. They've been well back from me before now, but they've closed the distance. It's time to act. Street thugs and muggers expect easy targets. I've never been one of those, and I don't mean to start now. I remember this road, and what's on it. I lay on my accelerator and scream around a turn, banking into the parking lot of an ice cream parlor. I park out of view and watch my tail scream by. Got a few minutes to kill before getting back to it. Rocky Road sounds good. Tinker's Repairs and General Goods is a well-known front operation. The dusty wares they have on display are purely for show. The real action is in the back. If you have the right rep, you can find anything a good smuggler needs.
We got the best prices this side of White Street.
Show me what you've got.
Prices like these should be illegal. Watch your back out there.
Here we are, safe and sound. It's been years since I last came here with Zio. Confortola built a reputation on the best nosh outside the old country, and I can still taste the garlic.
Randazzo!
You know who I am?
I know everyone in this town. Are you back for the veal? Maybe the meatballs?
I came here a few times with Zio, but I never talked to the proprietor. Can't help but wonder if Confortola had more of a relationship with my uncle than I was aware.
Well, what tempts you?
Last time I was here, I got the most delicious arancini. Are they still on the menu? An image of Zio flashes through my mind. He was angry about the Whitecap crackdowns making every run into a maze, and us, the rats. I remember when Zio saw those come out from the kitchen. Years fell off his face. Probably brought him back home, even if only for a moment.
Oh, if it weren't so hard to find a decent mozzarella here.
He winks conspiratorially.
But for a randazzo, I'm sure I could scare some up.
Huh. Zio must have really meant something to him. Any new dishes since the last time I was here? I remember that night. It was a hot summer in more ways than one. Eli had started losing his wars, losing back territory. In frustration, he turned his attention to his own dwindling streets. It's been a while. It was a tough trip out back then. Had to bribe every street corner for safe passage. I'm too lost in the memory to hear his reply. Come again?
I said your Sicilian great-grandmother would slap you from heaven if she could. New dishes? Why make new dishes when we already have everything we need?
Right. Sorry for asking. I wish I could remember Zio's favorite dish. Was it bagna cauda?
What? You think your uncle was some kind of Frenchman?
I heard when he was young, he'd eat just about anywhere.
Do not speak ill of the dead. Your uncle was mio fratuzzo. He'd have shot you as soon as look at you if you suggested...
The mask slips, crunching between his teeth as he chews the edges. Confortola was even closer to Zio than I suspected. Just a joke, Confortola. He always said anchovies were sewer fish.
You got me. Leave it all and that's so.
I'm here for the special cannoli, with the porchetta. His jovial demeanor never slips, despite the more serious change in topic. That's a talent rarely possessed outside of my line of work.
You're just in time. We were running low on ricotta.
I'm always happy to keep the ricotta flowing.
Ah, fellow cheese enthusiast. I'll get my boy to grab it from your car. A token of my appreciation. And one more thing. I always like having guests around who enjoy the finer things in life. If you ever need a place to lay low for the evening, you'll have a place at my table and a bed in the back room.
Much obliged. How could I say no to your veal parmigiana?
So it was the wheel after all.